What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to a new video. Today we're going to be reading 5 to 10 pages of the Bible. This is going to be the Bible series that I thought of, just to help kind of spread the word, and you can just read along with me or you can just listen. I'm going to tell you right now, there's definitely better ones out there, but if you want to listen to a person actually reading it instead of an AI one, here you go. Right now I'm reading the Holy Bible, Revised Naturalism Bible. And yeah, let's get straight into it. You guys can just listen along or do whatever. All right, let's get into it. And tell you what, I'm not the fastest reader as well, so it may be longer than others. The name Pentateuch means fivefold in Greek because the 5 books which compose in it were written in 5 different scrolls of roughly equal length. It is basic Torah, the law, or exactly instruction of Israel, foundation of all Israel's life. Starting from the family traditions of Abraham, it developed over many centuries, reaching its final form after the Babylonian exile, perhaps as late as the 5th century before Christ. For Jews, it has been the basic part of the Bible. For Samaritans, the only part. For Christians, the foundation of all that is to follow. Genesis. Genesis is a book. Okay. Chat. I think, I don't even think we're up to the right thing. Here we go. Genesis, the origin of the world and the human race. The creation and the fall. The creation of the world. Chapter 1. In the beginning, God created heaven and earth. Now the earth was formless, a formless void. There was a darkness over the deep. Spirit of God, which over the waters. God said, "Let the hold up, get rid of this. This is messing me up. Things like changing colors. Oh, it's my freaking light, bro. I was wondering what these colors were. I thought I was tripping out. It's my mic, like putting colors on my thing. God sweeping over the waters. God said, "Let there be light." There was light. God saw that light was good, and God separated light from darkness. God called light day, and darkness he called night. And there was evening and morning. The first day God said, "Let there be a dome in the midst of the water to divide the waters in two." And it was so. God made the dome. It divided the waters under the dome from the waters above the dome. God called the dome sky. And there was evening and morning. The second day God said, "Let there be waters under the sky, come together a single mass. Let dry land appear." And so it was. God called the dry land earth, and the mass good. Hold up. And the mass of waters seas. And God saw that it was good. It was good. God said, "Let the earth produce vegetation, seed-bearing plants, and fruit trees on earth, each bearing fruit of its own kind within it." And it was so. And so it was. The earth produced vegetation, the various kinds of seed-bearing plants, and the fruit trees, each bearing fruit of its own kind within it. God saw that it was good, and there was evening and morning. The third day God said, "Let there be light in the dome of heaven to separate day from night. Let them be signs for festival days and years. Let them be light in the dome of heaven to give light on earth." on the earth. And so it was good. God made the two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the smaller light to rule the night. And the stars God set them in the dome of heaven to give light on the earth to rule the day, and the night to separate light from darkness. God saw it was good, and there was evening and morning. The fourth day God said, "Let the waters teem with living creatures, and let the birds wing their way above the earth across the dome and heaven." And so it was. God created the great sea monsters and all the creatures of all kind that glide and teem in waters, and winged birds of every kind. God saw that it was good. God blessed them. Oh, I lost where I was going, chat. God blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful, multiply, and fill the waters with the seas, and let the birds multiply on land." And there was evening and morning. The fifth day God said, "Let the earth produce living creatures of every kind, cattle, creeping things, and wild animals of every kind." And so it was. God made wild animals in their own kind, and the cattle and theirs, and the creatures that creep along the earth in their own kind. God saw it was good. God said, "Let us make man in our own image, in the likeness of ourselves, and let them be masters of the fish of the seas and the birds of the heaven, the cattle, all the wild animals, and all the creatures that creep along the earth." God created man in the image of himself. In the image of God he created him. Male and female he created them. God blessed them, saying to them, "Be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, and subdue it. Be masters of the fish of the sea, and birds of the heaven, and all the creatures that creep along the earth." God also said, "Look, to you, I'll give you a seed-bearing plant on the surface of all the trees with seed-bearing fruits. This will be your food, and to all the wild animals, all the birds of heaven, and the living creatures that creep along the ground. I give all the foliage of the plants as their food." And so it was. God saw he had made, and indeed it was very good. There was an evening and morning, the sixth day. Chapter 2. Thus heaven and earth were completed, and all their way, and all their array. On the seventh day, God had completed the work he had done. He rested on the seventh day. After all that work he has done, he rested on the seventh day. After the work he had been doing, God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, because on that day he rested after all his work. I wonder if that's why Sunday is why we have the Sabbath or church. God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, because on that day he rested after all his work of creating. Such was the origin of heaven and earth when they were created. The Garden of Eden and the test of free will. At the time when Lord God made earth and heaven, there was yet no wild bush on the earth, nor had any wild plant yet sprung up. For the Lord God had not sent rain on the earth, nor were there anyone to till the soil. Instead, water came up from the ground and watered all the surfaces on the earth. The Lord God shaped man from dust of the ground and breathed the breath of life into his nostrils. Man became a living being. The Lord God planted a garden in Eden in the east, and put the man he had shaped from the soil. The Lord God caused to grow every kind of tree pleasant to look at any good to eat, with the tree of life in the middle of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. A river flowed from Eden to water the garden, and from there it divided to make 4 streams. The name of the first is Pishon. All the winds through the land of Havilah were, there is gold. The gold of this country is pure. Bdellium and the cornelian stone are found there. The name of the second river is Gihon. And of the winds all through the land of Ethiopia. The name of the third river is Tigris. And this flows to the east of Asher. The fourth river is Euphrates. The Lord God took the man and settled him in the Garden of Eden to cultivate and keep it. Then the Lord God gave man his command. You may eat all of the trees in the garden, but the tree of knowledge of good and evil you are not. Hold up. There we go. The tree of good and evil you are not to eat, for the day you eat of that you shall die. The Lord God said, it is not good that man should be alone. I shall make him a helper as a partner. So from the soil, Lord God shaped the wild animals and the birds in heaven, and these he brought to man to see what he would call them. And whatever man called each living creature, that was its name. The man gave names to all the cattle, all the birds of heaven, and all the wild animals. But no helper was found as a partner for man. Then Lord God made man fall into deep sleep, and while he was into deep sleep, he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh of its place. Then Lord God put the rib he had taken from man into a woman. He had brought her to man, and man said, this one at last is bone. This one at last is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken from man. This is why man leaves his father and mother and becomes attached to a new wife, and the two become one flesh. Now both of them were naked, the man and his wife, and they were not ashamed. Chapter 3. The Fall. Now the snake was most cunning of all the wild animals the Lord God had made. It asked the woman, did God really say you were not to eat from any of the trees in the garden? The woman answered the snake, we may eat the fruit of the trees in the garden. It was of the fruit of the tree in the middle of the garden that God said you must not eat nor touch under pain of death. Then the snake said to the woman, no, you shall not die. You will not die. God knows that. God knows that the day you eat, your eyes will open. Day you eat, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like gods, knowing good from evil. The woman saw that the tree was good to eat and pleasant to the eye, and it was desirable for the wisdom that it could give. So she took some of the fruit and ate it. She also gave some to her husband who was with her, and he ate it. Their eyes, both of them, were opened, so they realized they were naked. So they sewed fig leaves together to make themselves some loincloth. They had heard the sound of Lord God walking in the garden in the cool of the day, and man and his wife hid from the presence of the Lord God among the trees of the garden. But Lord God called to the man. "Where are you?" he asked. He replied, "I heard the sound of you in the garden. I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid." He said, "Who told you that you were naked? Have you been eating from the tree from which I forbid you to eat?" The man replied to the woman, "You gave the woman you gave to be with me. She gave me fruit from the tree, and I ate it." The Lord God said to the woman, "What is this that you have done?" The woman replied, "The snake tempted me, and I ate it." Then Lord God said to the snake, Because you have done this, cursed are you of all the cattle and wild animals, of all the cattle and wild animals. On the belly you shall go, and on dust you shall feed. All the days of your life I shall put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and hers. He will bruise your head, and you will strike his heel. To woman he said, "I shall give you intense pain in childbearing. In pain you shall give birth to children. Your yearning shall be for your husband, and he shall rule you." To man he said, "Because you listened to the voice of your wife, and ate it from the tree which I had forbidden you to eat. Cursed be the soil because of you, and pain shall get your food from it. All the days of your life, brambles and thistles shall it yield for you. As you eat the produce of the land, by the sweat of your face shall you yearn food, until you return to the ground. From there you were taken, for dust you are, and to dust you shall return." The man named his wife Eve, because she was the mother of all those who live. The Lord God made tunics of skin for the man and his wife to clothe them. Then Lord God said, "See, the man has become like one of us, knowing good from evil. He must not be allowed to reach out of his hand and pick from the tree of life too, and eat and live forever." So the Lord God expelled him from the Garden of Eden, and to till the soil from which he had been taken. He banished the man, and in front of the Garden of Eden he posted wild cherubim and the fiery flash sword to guard the way of the tree of life. Alright, we're going to end it here.